So somebody wanted to know, what are the signs that a woman has a high body count? And ideally, that shouldn't matter that much to you. I know it always matters to some degree. And you know what? Your number matters to her as well. That's going to be another video, probably the next one I make, where I dig a little bit deeper into it. But there is some things that I've kind of picked up that are fairly strong signs that she has a higher body count. So the first one, she's heavily into the nightlife scene, which is, not, if she's like 20, 21 or whatever, it's completely reasonable to expect that. But if, if it's a weekend thing, every weekend, and she goes out and she's partying and she has a little clique of friends or whatever, and, maybe if she like gets to know the staff at the door, the doorman and all that, it's a reasonable sign. If she's like really good in bed, that's a pretty good sign, because for the most part, you need experience to get good in bed. She talks about sex really openly. She's comfortable with it. Back to the experience. She's able to like talk about her past sex life. Maybe she likes to role play. Another thing is like if she's sending you, especially initiating like topless pics or any explicit type of pictures like that, she has some experience. She has some, confidence with doing that sort of thing because she's done it before. And, similarly, if she's like explicitly flirting with you, another thing is if she's able to make a move, if she's the one that can actually like ramp things up physically because she's used to doing it. If she has a lot of guy friends, there's typically a reason why a lot of guys are often hanging out with her. Sometimes that's just the case, but they just like hanging out with guys, but it's generally speaking, all these guys, let's be honest, they're wanting to hook up with her, or they already have. And that's a pretty strong sign. Also if you like try to make a move on the first date, she doesn't like hook or like turn it down. If she's wanting to be like friends with benefits or any sort of like casual type thing. All those are pretty strong signs. And also just like an it factor, which is hard to like specify exactly what it is, but like it when you see it. Maybe it's just a culmination of all these points. But if she just looks a certain way, which isn't a bad way, like it's not a bad thing, especially there's some hypocrisy that it's like cool for guys to do it. And I know I've talked about this before, that it's like it's a guy that hooks up with a lot of women is cool, and it's actually encouraged to do. And it's like, if you don't do it, it's like looked down upon. And, there's a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure for a lot of guys to kind of, hook up a lot. And it kind of creates an expectation that like, basically it creates players. It creates guys that's like, well, you don't want to like meet a girl and immediately settle down. It's like, no, I need to get my body count up. I want to be the guy that like can go to a party and just like quickly pull a girl or whatever. And that's kind of just society's kind of molded as that is like a cool ideal guy that like nobody ever really talks about. It's always the behavior that has stemmed from it, but not exactly what caused that behavior to begin with. Not to say that there would ever be a world which guys didn't want to hook up because we're just like biologically wired that way. But there's certainly some expectations of how we should approach these sort of things. But I'm getting way off topic here. But yeah, an it factor. It's cool if she has an it factor. Where I think it's probably just like a bit of swagger or something like that, where it's just confidence. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants. She can go after it. Maybe she doesn't have a high body count and she has this, but generally speaking, it's just like a culmination of experience and just success of her getting what she wants. And that's it. Again, like your body count matters to her as well. I'll get into that in the next video, but try to not put too much weight towards it. Especially if you're young, it's probably not going to be that high anyways. But that's it. Peace.